What's good, y'all? Welcome back. I'm your host, LJ. This is Casual Takes, and today we're going to be discussing 49ers draft grades. Usually I tell y'all not to subscribe, but today I want y'all to subscribe. Leave a like on the video. If I have a take you don't agree with, please drop it in the comments. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So for these prospects, I'm going to discuss strengths, weaknesses, then my overall thoughts. Number 11 overall, then the 49ers selected Mykel Williams out of Georgia. He's an edge rusher. He's got very long arms. He is a great athlete, and he's probably the best run defender day one off the edge in this class. Although Mykel is a tremendous athlete, the pass rush is definitely a projection at the NFL level. He doesn't have a move that he consistently goes to, and he doesn't have a deep skill set of moves. So sure, he'll win with the rip sometimes, he'll win with the club occasionally, but nothing consistent that he can go to and get a win. With the length, athleticism, youth, and run defense ability that Mykel has, I do understand why John Lynch and Marques Sigle liked him enough to pick him number 11 overall. But I can't say that I love the pick as much as they do, because Walter Nolan and James Pierce, who both went in the first round, were still available, and I think they have better pass rush skill sets day one. And I also think they're higher ceiling players than Mykel Williams. With all that being said, I don't love the pick, I don't hate the pick, and I understand it enough for me to give them a passing grade. So Mykel Williams to the Niners at 11 is getting a C+ for me. Moving on to the next pick, Alfred Collins at number 43. This is really where you saw the draft strategies start to come together a little bit. I think John Lynch and Marques Sigle were like, dog, we need a run defense. And this is a guy that's absolutely going to provide that. Standing 6'6" and weighing 330 pounds, Alfred Collins is absolutely a beast of a man. He's got extremely strong hands and is probably the most stout run defender at D tackle in this entire draft. Outside of Mason Graham and Derek Harmon, I think Alfred Collins is the highest floor D tackle in this class. I love him for what he is, but with that being said, he's not much of a pass rusher due to his lack of athleticism. He does have very strong hands and he flashes a bull rush occasionally, but he just doesn't have the quickness to get off of blocks. He doesn't really have any moves that he can go to. And at 43, I think you probably want a little bit more variety in what a player can do. But with that being said, I absolutely love the pick. Don't love it enough to give it an A, but I will give it a B+, teetering on an A-. Alfred Collins is going to be a great player for the Niners. Next up is Nick Martin. Let me check my notes for what I said. All right. He's a run and chase style linebacker. He is a great athlete that loves to hit. He does have very good closing speed. His first step is fantastic. And he does have solid arm length for being 5'11". But with that being said, though, he is 5'11", 220 pounds. He's undersized to hell. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing in coverage. And he missed a ton of tackles, even though that's supposed to be his greatest strength. I think you took him way too high. Number 75. Why are we taking players that are such projections top 100? Especially when you have a guy on the roster that did the same thing in college in D. Winters. He played last year and he showed some solid flashes. I don't know why they don't like him. Another reason I do not like this pick whatsoever, you took him above guys that were better than him at his position. Chris Paul Jr. and Danny Stutzman have higher floors and higher ceilings than, what's the old boy name? Nick Martin, dog. Especially Chris Paul Jr. He's just as undersized, but he had way better tape. I don't understand how you like Nick Martin over Chris Paul Jr. Some guys that I thought were better players that went behind Nick Martin, Savon Ravel, went with, I believe, the very next pick. Long corner, tall, long freak athlete, had great coverage ability in college, was just hurt last year. I thought he had first to second round tape. He was just hurt. Kevin Winston Jr., same deal. Top 50 tape, freak athlete. He was just hurt last year. Wyatt Milam and Charles Grant, both guys that I think project very well at guard at the next level. I don't understand. You need a guard terribly. And these are both guys that would start for you immediately. Last one, Xavier Watts, high floor safety prospect. Malik Mustafa's hurt. He's going to miss the first half of the season. You needed the safety. You pass up on Xavier Watts, who I thought was a top 50-ish second round type of prospect. You took Nick Martin over all those guys who I think would come in and start immediately for you. I think they're going to feel like they need to start Nick Martin because you took him top 75. I don't think he's going to be able to play. think they're going to have to bench him and play D-winners anyway, and you just wasted a pick in the 3rd round. I'm giving this an F. The next guy they picked was Upton Stout. I understand why they picked him. He's super physical in the run game, an absolute dog. He showed solid tape and coverage out of the slot. The only thing is, man, he's 5'8", 180, dog. He's so small. He's so small. I understand what they saw in him, though. They saw Kywan Williams. I do see a lot of Kywan Williams in his game as well. I know why they picked him. I just can't get behind picking a 5'8", 180 guy, top 100, especially when the consensus rankings had him in the 200s. I think he's probably going to come in and start immediately, either him or Trey Brown. But you could have drafted an outside corner and moved Lenore to the slot, where I think that's his best role. I don't love the pick. I think you reached really badly. I thought Sebastian Castro, who went completely undrafted, was a better slot player. Maybe I'm just wrong on that, but yeah, Upton Stout, he's not a bad player. I know what they saw in him, and for that reason, I can't give them an extremely low grade, but I also can't give them a passing grade when I thought they reached over 100 spots. I'm giving them a D+. The number 118 overall, I believe. The Niners selected CJ West. This is my favorite pick of their draft. West is a fantastic run defender. He will come in and make an impact day one. He's also a great athlete that I think can be coached up by Chris Kachurik into being somewhat of a pass rusher. With that being said, though, day one, he's going to be a bit lackluster on the run defense. He's a 4th round pick, though, man. And to get such a high floor player with a 4th round pick that is going to start immediately for you, that has to at least get an A. With the value that they got him at in the 4th round, I thought this guy was more of a 3rd round prospect. That's getting an S for me. An S for steal, dude. John Lynch and Marques Sigle absolutely knew what they were doing. This is a fantastic player, a fantastic get at, 118 or 113? Don't remember which one. But, yeah, CJ West is a great player. That's getting an S for me. That's going to be my highest graded pick of the Niners draft for sure. The next pick, I know I said I was going to be more lenient with these day 3 picks. I hate this pick, man. I really do. I hate it. Jordan Watkins, he's a pure deep threat, 4.3 speed. He did have some good double moves on tape. He's good in contested catch situations, and he uses his body to box out defenders. But his weaknesses, man, he has a limited route tree. He doesn't separate against man coverage despite the speed. He does not have a good change of direction. And my biggest gripe on him, he's not a hands catcher. He catches with his body a lot. To me, this is Danny Gray all over again. And for you to take a Danny Gray ahead of guys like Torrey Horton, who I thought was a way better prospect, he was just hurt last year. He would come in and, man, I'm not saying he would start for the Niners because they do have pretty good depth, but he would definitely be the wide receiver 4 on the team immediately. Jackson Slater and Marcus Bowe, both phenomenal athletes that were available at guard. I don't know why you pick a wide receiver over a guard in this scenario. And if you wanted to gamble on athleticism, pick a guy like Za Frazier, corner out of UTSA, he's big, he's long, and he's a stupid athlete at corner. I just don't get it, man. Jordan Watkins is not a guy. I know what he did against Arkansas, like 245 yards and 5 touchdowns. I don't care, bro. At some point, you got to go and watch the other games, man. He's not that dude. And to take him above players that I thought were better, especially when this is not a position of need, that's getting an F for me, bro. Certified F. Hate the pick. Let's move on, bro. Next up is another pick that I actually liked. Jordan James out of Oregon. He's a running back with great contact balance. He has great acceleration, and I love his vision. He knows when to bounce out runs. The only thing about him is he lacks the top speed, and he doesn't have great power. He's also a little small. He's kind of like a Kyren Williams coming out of Notre Dame. Obviously, I don't think he's going to have the success that Williams had in the NFL, but they're very similar prospects. I like him inside the tackles, whereas I like Garendo more outside of the tackles in wide zone. This is a great 1-2 punch for when CMC is inevitably going to get hurt. I love this pick, man. I really do. You see the highlights I'm showing. You know, he absolutely runs a guy over in one of these clips. That was crazy. Although I said he doesn't have the top end power, he got a little bit of it in him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jordan James, high floor back. I think he's an absolute value in the 5th round. I thought he was more of a 3rd, 4th round type of guy. I'm going to give this pick an A, man. I really like it. I know Kyle Shanahan takes a running back every year, but Jordan James is a damn good player. Next up, we got Marques Sigle in the 5th round. I like this pick a lot. He's a great athlete with phenomenal closing speed. He's a good tackler and a super high effort player. Only things about him, he doesn't really know what to do in zone coverage. He's a slender player, so he can't really get off blocks very well. And he doesn't have phenomenal man coverage because he has bad reaction time. So mirroring routes isn't really something he's great at. But man, I like his attitude. I like his energy on the field. I love the fact that you gamble on a guy late at slot corner and then you draft a guy early who you think has a better ceiling. I like the double dip strategy. I'm gonna give this pick an A-. I do think that there were a couple better DBs on the board. Dorian Strong and Za Frazier I would have drafted ahead of Marques Sigle. But I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick too much, dog. It's the 5th round. I like this pick a lot. I think he can, if he improves, he can definitely be a starter going forward. So yeah, Marques Sigle out of Kansas State. I love the pick. Last pick, I'm going to talk about Kurtis Rourke out of Indiana. He's a quarterback. He has a solid arm, has good accuracy. What intrigues me about him is that he didn't really move at all last year, and that was because he had a partially torn ACL. So maybe there's a little bit more in him than I saw. He seems like a high floor backup though. The only thing is you drafted him over Quinn Ewers, who I thought was a little better, but it's like, I mean, at that point we're splitting hairs, dog. Oh, we should have taken this backup instead of that backup. This is gonna get a B for me. I like the pick enough. I think he's a solid player. Gonna be QB3 immediately. Editing LJ in the building. There was some stuff I wanted to speak on that I forgot to during the video. The mic quality is gonna sound much different during this section because I do not have my mic with me. So, first of all, final thoughts on the draft. I like it for what it was, but you kind of took 2 picks and lit them on fire and had an extreme reach for another one of your picks. So I can't give you an above average grade for that, but I do like that they fit. They took some good fits and they drafted for need. So, you know, I'll say this is a slightly above average draft. I get this a C+. You know what I mean? But let's talk about John Lynch now. John Lynch once again has completely swayed away from consensus and drafted off of his own board, just getting guys that he likes. That you can't do that. Not right now, bro. This is the most important draft since John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have taken over, and you got 2 players in the 3rd round that I do not view as impact starters day one. You just can't do that. And you can't take a bad wide receiver in the 4th or 5th round. You can't do that, dog. We've seen John Lynch continuously light 3rd round picks on fire. Trey Sermon, Ty Davis Price, Danny Gray, Jake Moody, Cam Latu. I'm sure I'm forgetting people because it's really an extensive history of this guy just repeatedly drafting bad players in the 3rd round. I think he did it again with Nick Martin, I'm not going to lie. I mean, and if this season does not go well, dog, we got to start having some conversations about John Lynch. I really do think we do. We need to start having some conversations about if John Lynch is able to make the moves that are necessary for the 49ers to put themselves in a good place to win playoff games. That's really about all I had to say, though. Back to video. That's it for this video, y'all. I'm going to have the new setup tomorrow. Y'all are going to see my face. I can't say tomorrow. Next week. I know I said next week last week, all right. But I needed to get a new mic because mine wouldn't work with the setup that I'm going for. So I'm getting a new mic. We're going to have the green screen next week. Probably going to talk about some more NBA stuff. Probably going to talk about the UFC pay-per-view that's coming up. Maybe drop the Brock Purdy video next week as well, depending on if I have any other ideas. That's really about it, y'all. I apologize for the upload schedule. I should be getting way more videos out. It was kind of hectic this week. I had a lot to do. I worked freaking 5 days in a row, and I work nights, and I can't record there. It's kind of annoying. I'm gonna edit this video while I'm working. Yeah, though, I think this is one of my better made videos. I got a lot of film up there. This is my favorite thumbnail I've ever had. Hopefully this will do some numbers, you know what I'm saying? Shout out moms. Love everybody that's still here. If you're listening to my voice right now, like, subscribe, comment saying, "Oh, I'm only commenting because you forced me to," or something corny like that. And that's about it, y'all. Peace.